Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode, we're going to check out one of my favorite stores, Aquamarine Aquaristic. Alright, thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Parker's Reefs, and today we are continuing on with our local fish shop tour. Firstly around Melbourne, and then in a few weeks I'm going to jump on a plane and head up to Sydney and check out a few of my favourite stores up there as well. But today we are going to Aquamarine Aquaristic, which is located in Doncaster. I'll be sure to give you the Google Earth overview right now, and these guys are very well known for a few things. Firstly, their incredible display tanks, which have not faltered one little bit whatsoever. There's more than two incredible display tanks there, but there are two known huge display tanks with some to die for livestock inside them. And then there is a whole swarm of corals to check out, including some of the country's hottest Goni. So probably without any further ado, we should jump into the footage and check out Jono and the team at Aquamarine Aquaristic. Alright, so here we are at the pearly gates of Aquamarine Aquaristic, as the sign on the front door says. And like I mentioned, the first thing you're greeted with is this beautiful display tank, and also these two huge red starfish skimmers. Check out the big one here with the automatic washdown cup there. Pretty crazy looking bit of gear, but once we get past these two big skimmers that are not connected to anything, they're just there ready for sale, we pan back across to this beautiful display system, which is the original Aquamarine Aquaristic SBS display system, which has now been infiltrated by quite a number of Goni, as you can see here, and there are some beautiful Gonis indeed in there. But rest assured, there is still some absolutely cracking SBS in there as well, which realistically have become the two corals that the store are most renowned for. And there's a full assortment in here. I quite like these little bright red ones. We'll see plenty more of those as the tour goes on. But look at all that SBS up there. Beautiful, beautiful SBS. Look at the hairy polyp extensions on that blue piece in the corner there. This branch rock really lends well to sticking lots and lots of frags on each one of those points and just letting them grow out. It gives each and every piece a bit of space, and you can end up with something like this, which is quite beautiful. You see the team do have quite a large assortment of pretty big tangs in there as well as some utilitarian fish like we saw the 6-line wrasse. There's an Australian stripey and things in there just to make sure there's no pests running rogue in there. But we'll get a little top-down view with the DSLR of some of the SBS in here, because you can see that the radians above this system are creating quite amount of light spill. So it's good to get the camera beneath the water surface like this, so you can really get a good look at the colors of the SBS. And when we focus in, have a look at the reds there, the polyp extension on that blue piece. In fact, there's a couple of bits of it there. I think that's one of the AMA signature pieces actually, which you'll find on their website. You got very bright green goblin there. Moving on to another red or maroon coloured piece, solid green there, coming across into this rather fine branching mauve piece there. Over having a look down here, I can see a very nice little yellow correlated piece there. Nice peachy there. This piece here, I think that's gumdrops there. Very, very nice indeed. That could be a Zappo, but don't crucify me if I've got the names wrong here. That looks like a Pikachu to me. What I can tell you is if you head in store to AMA and have a look in the display tank and point out the coral you like, the team will be able to direct you towards where the frags are. But moving on to items that are for sale, check out the range here from the Pod Guy. You got phytoplankton, copepods, rotifers, all fresh on the counter there. You know what they say, point of sale items. Add them to the cart and go. You see plenty of Reef Factory behind the counter, but there is yet another display tank, and believe it or not, it's even bigger than the previous one and has even more coral in it. And have a look through here. This is an SBS delight in here. I believe this system is running the Reef Factory reef lamp lights above this system. Nice goatfish to swim past, Sohole, Achilles, blue tangs, yellow tangs, you name it. It's not just the coral in these display tanks that are absolute showpieces. And yeah, there is a lot of showpieces in here. I will get the top down to show a couple of these to you, but in the sake of keeping this video as short as I can, I have not gone over each and every coral in this tank because yeah, we'd be here for hours. And my previous visit to this store, I did spend quite a bit more time with Jono going through the display tank and talking about all things there. But have a look at this Monty in here. The camera's really struggling to show you the colors of that. You just have to see it in person. It's obviously bright gold, but has green and red splashes through it. And when you pan back a little bit and just look down the length of this beautiful system, I think it's a 10 by 3 foot reef tank. Actually, I believe it's a metric one, so it'll be roughly those sort of dimensions. It is ridiculously cool. I love the blue stag sticking to the weir at the back there. But if we get the top down and have a bit of a look in here, you'll see that it is a fairly well full mixed reef in here. There's obviously quite a lot of SBS. You see the trio of clownfish enjoying that Goni there, but there is also soft corals, there's LPS, there's obviously a lot of SBS, and a lot of the signature pieces like that gorgeous gold piece there, the purple and green. Look at this hairy solid green. I do love a solid green acro like that. The Dallas in my previous display tank is something that that system was renowned for, and when you see a bright solid single color, it is a sight to see, and that's quite a tongue twister. So we'll move on. I do want to show one other display tank which they have here. This is a really cool little concept for people that come into the store and go, I want to get into it. They can have a look at this system here, $2,500 as you see, and we'll come and set it up in your home, which I think is really, really cool. The corals in here are showcasing, well, not just the corals and the livestock complete in here are showing you the sort of things you can keep with that sort of system, and quite a nice little idea. But it is time that we get onto some of the corals that are for sale, and this first system here has some crackerjacks in here from some gorgeous scollies through to some button scollies, acans. You can see these are all available online, and I'll be sure to give you all of the web address details for that. You can go to aquamarineaquaristic.com.au. There's plenty of chalice, acans, of course, Goni, and we will have a look from the top down in this system because there are some ridiculously nice Gonis in here. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot more to come. But just before we do, let's jump onto the aquamarineaquaristic.com.au website, and you can see they do have a Black November sale on as well. So if you're looking for some discounted livestock and dry goods, you've come to the right place, and you can see all of their range here. You can go to the WYSIWYG section, scroll through, you can even pick your preferred colors. Obviously, you'd probably want to narrow down to in stock. You can pick your price range and then scroll through from there. So this is sorted by some of the best selling corals, and look at the prices of these. $13.50 Australian for some chalice frags. Does not get much cheaper than that. And you get across into some Goni frags here. These were 100 down to 70, onto some of these bright red ones down to 63, and the pages go on and on and on. So if you've got a hankering for a yellow coral, you can click that there. We've got no yellows, that's all right. Let's try a gold then, often similar to yellow, and you can see we've got some gorgeous options here, some nice gold corallites on these pieces. So all sorts of features on the Aquamarine Aquaristic website. You obviously have a arrive alive guarantee, and the team are shipping, as you can see up here, Australia-wide, including all states. So if you are looking for some livestock shipped to your door, be sure to check out their website. Now, as promised, heading back to the store tour, I've got the DSLR out to have a good top-down view of this first coral display tank, and have a look at these scollies in here. Ridiculous colors on them, all looking nice and fat and fluffy. Great bandings, good flesh overhang, no sign of skeleton or anything like that. Very healthy corals indeed. Coming across very much the same with the blastos and the acans here. Here are some of those chalice that we saw that were, I think it was $12.50 or something ridiculously cheap each, or $13.50. Don't quote me on the exact figure, it was cheap, whatever it was. And have a look at some of these acans, very, very bright. That gold acan there, whew, gold and teal, very nice indeed. And then of course, there are the chalice that we talked about, and of course, the Goni are coming up. I just have to move the top down viewer because I want to be able to get my own camera top down in there. And look at the green eyes on that Goni, some solid reds, some nice light blue pieces. some bright toxic greens there, maybe a bit of glitter in there as well. Look at the polyp extension on it, it's just smothering that other Goni right next to it. Got that nice red or pink glitter there, up to some nice bright orange pieces there. Look at this blue stem with the red fingers on the polyps there, the yellow eyes there. Just a ridiculous range of Gonis there, that arrangement I should say of Gonis that it has got me lost for words, as you can see. But it's not all just corals at the shop. They do have a range of fish and inverts as well. So you can see we've got a gorgeous little hawkfish down here. Next to him in there's Valentini puffer. You've got some nice file fish in there, nice yeah, very cute little file or trigger there. I think it might be a pineapple file. Don't quote me on that. I do know what this guy is though. He's a gigantic lionfish. In fact, he's got a friend in there with him as well. We've got a nice assortment of clownfish, as you would expect for any reef. But the star of the show, well, once we get past the inverts, is obviously the coral at Aquamarine Aquaristic. So let's jump back over to that. And we'll start off with this little tank here, 30% off, of course. And if you look in there, check out these Recordia rocks. There must be about 50 Recordia in each of those, so pretty good buying at $300 for the rock. You see some more brighter color options there, some nice Rhodactis rocks in there as well, and then you jump into the baskets where all of the different mushrooms are. Up into some of the assorted coral tanks here, you've got some Goni, some Desh, some Torch, some hammers, some fungias. They're actually pieces that people have purchased online and are coming in store to pick up. Heading down to this tank here, frog spawn, $40 each. That's pre-discount price, I will say. And have a look at the color and size of them. Very, very affordable. You can't ask for much more color and movement for that kind of dollar. Moving on over to the Torch. You can see these are priced per head. So you got green tips, you got New York Nicks, 24 karat golds, Hulks, all very reasonably priced indeed. So you can have a good look at the top of those. I won't get the DSLR out because they're sitting about half an inch under the water surface, so I'm not going to go poking around under the water and upsetting those at all. But have a look at these big boys here, a couple of massive showpiece hammers here. $300 for the one on the right, $250 for the one on the left, and there's even more in the back there. Massive, massive pieces. Difficult to give you the idea of scale on the on camera here, but you just have to take my word that they are about the size of a volleyball each. Just ridiculously big pieces, which are going to fill up even a large space in a very large tank. But there are more hammers there, some very nice reverses, nice blotchies models there. That one in particular is quite bright and grabbing my attention. A nice sort of a B-grade gold there in the back corner. And then you head up into the bargain corals. Have a look at, you got cheap candy canes there, you've got some leathers, you've got some Cynarias, you've got different Zoas, you've got some Chalice, all sorts in here, even some Lobos in there. You've got some Gonis, you've got some all sorts in there. All sorts of corals in there. But heading on down to the next tank, because there is still so much more coral to show you guys. You can see some nice Lobo Pachyceptors there. Nice, like those little spiky ones that always have different colors on the spikes. That guy back there's got at least 3 or 4 different colors in him though, which is cool to see. And then again, some big showpieces there as well. Some smaller variants there with some all sorts of colors through them. Coming across to these Chalice and Favia here, no shortage of colors there. And into a little bit of a Blasto corner where, as you can see, there are some bright and healthy Blastos in there. Good assortment of different colors, from different colored eyes to different colored flesh to different color combinations. So great assortment there. Heading up here, you've got some Duncan corals at $5 per polyp. So you basically pick how big a piece you want and you price it out from there. Into an extra large Heliofungia there. And we keep on rolling because in the center here, these two tanks have long been considered the showpiece tanks for Aquamarine Aquaristic, at least for corals for sale perspective. And in this system here is sort of the SBS, but you can see we've got a monster blue clam there. This thing is huge and very, very bright indeed. And that's almost set up there as the barricade onto the new passion coral at Aquamarine Aquaristic, and that is Goniopora. And this is just the start of them, and it's a pretty hectic start at that. I did get the DSLR out because I wanted to try and get footage of that clam clam. But as you can see, I was just way too close to it, but you can still get an appreciation for the gorgeous colors and markings on this beautiful specimen indeed. I've tried to just slow the footage down a little bit so you can really take in those patterns on there. But when you pan across a little bit to the left like we are now and you see these Gonis here, holy moly, they are bright. These are toxic greens here, and when you see them compare against the glitter reds there, the contrast on these is ridiculous. They are such a beautiful coral, and it's very evident why Aquamarine Aquaristic have got a soft spot for them at the moment. But you pan across over to the next tank where we are now, and you can see we've got some blue glitters here. It's $60 a piece each, pre-discount price, I will say, and these solid pinks or reds back there that I love. You come across into some other pieces here, some high-end ones from Tequila Sunrise and Infernos. All the different named Gonioporas are here. Over into some different glitters. You got WA Fire and Ice, all sorts of names. I do want to give you a little top-down view of them though, because they are ridiculous when you look at them in this sort of perspective, to really appreciate the contrast of the colors on each one of these high-end Gonis here. You can see the reds, the pinks, the oranges, the yellows on the stems and fingers on each one there, and then you come across into some of the glitters here, and yeah, it just looks like it's a Christmas time already when you see those sort of colors. And if you have a look at this tank from a little bit of a bird's eye view, look at the range of colors and varieties and just raw numbers of Goni frags in here. These ones here are probably my favorite though, I've got to say. I know it's probably not the most extreme color, but toxic greens at $100 a piece. It just doesn't get much better than that. I know there are some stunners along here, and all of these glitters and named varieties are very, very nice indeed. I quite like the standard glitters there, the yellows, but I do like these hot pinks back there. $90 a frag. Again, probably on the cheaper side, and when we have a look at the top down of these, you think that's about as bright as Goni gets, that bright, bright red, and then you just happen to make your way up into here where these bright toxic pinks are, and wow. The camera is probably now due for a service once it tries to take in the color from these things, because that's just brightness overload. And then we go over to what I've been calling the standard glitters. I'm sure they've probably got a more fancy or formal name than that, but they are a beautiful piece, and I do have a decent size, probably a good fist size piece of that in my Dream Reef tank, and it looks ridiculously nice. So don't let the contrast from the other even more outstanding Gonis confuse you here. These ones here, I think these are what they call amaze balls or something like that, and I can understand why it gets that name, that bright light sort of colored center to them, out into the rich bright red stems, very nice. But we come across into probably my favorite Goni of the lot, and that is these toxic greens. And look at the banding on the polyp extension there. You get these little splashes of toxicness just bleeding its way through. Very, very nice indeed. But we will have a look at the other side of that that tank that had the clam and the first bit of Gonis on there. We've got some SBS mother colonies in here that aren't in the display tank yet. Most of the mother colonies have now moved over to the displays, but there's still a few here that the team are cooking out. And of course, you can always pick frags to cut on demand there. But we'll head up to the last few coral tanks at the back of the shop here and have a look in here. This first system here has got some green goblins back there. You've got some galaxias, you've got some green star polyps. You move on to some $35 acro frags here, and of course that is then got 40% off. So you've got some big discounts here. They're very, very cheap frags, and you've got plenty to pick from. There's even the not quite right pack there. You get a 10 pack of frags in here, just a little bit of love for a very nice discounted price. And then over here, you've got what the team call the WYSIWYG section, where each and every frag is allocated a number. That one in there looks particularly nice. I think they used to call those fire trucks, but what they call them now, I'd have no idea. But each and every one of these frags is allocated a number, and you can find that exact frag online and see what it costs, see if it's available, and go from there, which is super cool indeed. And you can see you've got a big range of different frags in here, which is good to have a look at. In fact, we'll get the DSLR out so you can have a close-up look at some of these, because there is quite a lot of color. This nice smooth red one there is very nice indeed. You've got some blues, you've got some greens, you've got greens and reds, you've got some yellows, all sorts of varieties in here. The tank has been pretty well overtaken by coralline algae, but you can still see the beauty in these SPS frags, and most of these are very, very cheap, which does make it very tempting indeed. Some nice millies there. Moving on to, oh, that's quite a nice yellow piece there. So a good assortment. You can see all the numbers there. If you want to check out any of those, be sure to jump onto the aquamarineaquaristic.com.au website and pick yourself up some treasures. But the show must go on, and I have found over in this next system some very nice hammers, frog spawns, a good assortment indeed. You got some nice reverse stems there. It's these golds that have my interest. I want to show you particularly that one there. In fact, I'll grab the DSLR out because you can see we can't really tell from the top down. This is what I'd call a rainbow gold. You can see various levels of gold, green, pink, yellow, dare I say, all on the one piece there. Stunning hammer indeed. And his friend right next to him, this one here is a gold stem green tipped hammer. Very, very nice indeed. Both of those a little bit more expensive, but definitely not outrageous in their pricing. In fact, yeah, you're talking around about 700 for the rainbow gold, and I think it was about 150 for the green and gold, which is very cheap indeed. Nice chalice there. In fact, quite a few nice chalice there. Over into some frog spawns there. You got Space Invader, Pectinia frags there. Some nice bright Recordia up the back too. 180 each pre-discount price for the bright oranges, which is pretty well priced. Heading across into our next type of Euphilia there, we've got some torches, and you can see the prices on screen there. There is 30% off those, and of course another plug out for the guys, aquamarineaquaristic.com.au, and as they've mentioned there, all the marked prices are before discount, so you'll get them even cheaper than that. And looking at these torch from the top down, you can see they are very nice indeed. I must admit, I, like a lot of other hobbyists out there, have not had huge success with torch, but when you see them happy and healthy and flowing about like they are here, it's near impossible to resist. I will say I did resist this time, but great assortment of color, and like I said, all around health in these corals does make that quite difficult. But probably the only thing that saved me from buying them is that I was overwhelmed with the amount of coral to look at, and yep, we've got more to look at. Some more Euphilia over here, some nice toxic blotchies. We've got some clams, a bit cheaper than that monstrous blue piece that we saw earlier with the Gonis. Coming across over to some, we've got a nice little blasto rocks there. These toxic green hammers, I think they would give brilliant contrast against maybe that rainbow gold we saw before. Really bring out the colors in it very nicely. Moving across into some nice sort of blue pieces there. Some torches again from more affordable ones, yet even more some gold ones. Heading across into some nice lobos there. Even some nice moon corals, but these two chalice have my interest, and I've definitely got to get the DSLR out to have a look at these. Look at that gold with the teal splashes on it, is ridiculously nice. Does have a little die off there that would probably nice, like a nice little fragging back there, but look at this one here. It's got green splashes through the blue and a very solid gold base. Very, very nice chalice indeed. I've got no idea why chalice is not popular at the moment, but I'm sure it will become again soon enough. Up into the anemone tank here, and you're reminded again there's 30% off. Tube at Nem there, standard price is $100. If you've ever had the opportunity to handle one of those, I feel sorry for you because it's a weird, weird experience. Hiding in the second, or the basement, I guess, of that tank is these beautiful Desh. Have a look at these. There is no discount on the Desh, and that's fair enough. At $1,500 each, I think they are a to-die-for showpiece coral. Whether you pick the one at the back or the one in the front, you've got lots of color to look at there. Moving across over to some Cinaria, that's one of the trademark pieces from the AMA store for many years now, that orange one. See some St. Thomas bounce mushrooms here. We don't see those much in Australia anymore. And then looking up the back, you'll see some nice bowerbankies here. Bleeding apples, you got red and golds and others in there. Beautiful pieces indeed. I do have a bit of a soft spot for a nice bowerbanky, but man, those golds are nice, but a little bit out of my price range. And then we're up into, I was going to say the final coral system. There is one more hiding. So the final big coral system, which is dominated by these massive fish in there, which are obviously contributing to a little bit of bioload in this system for these soft corals, which I think they are probably enjoying, because coming around the corner here, I've spotted this lovely bright green soft coral that I think is the perfect substitute for SPS if you're looking at a soft coral tank. It looks like SPS with great polyp extension. In fact, I'll get the DSLR out, have a look at that. It's got the branches on it. The only thing that really gives it away is you do have that bit of movement there, which, to be fair, most people would consider desirable rather than a stagnant SPS. So gorgeous, gorgeous bright green soft coral there, which I quite like. And then I promise this is the final coral system. We do have something I haven't seen much of for a little while now, and that's Bernardipora, the sort of the stepsister of the Gonis. There is also a Space Invader chalice up there, some more chalice frags. See the Space Invader, a mother colony, rainbow chalice colony up there. So some very tasty pieces in that system as well. But it is not just about livestock. The team at Aquamarine Aquaristic do also carry your salt water and your RO water. And then you've got a good assortment of plumbing here, from obviously pipe in grey, orange and red, across to different fittings there in all the different sizes, from taps to elbows to T's to unions. You name it, they've got it there. Heading across here, you can see some Salifit test kits, Coral Essentials supplements. You've got Hannah checkers there, some Jabal wave makers, Triton ICPs. You've got Aqua Forest supplements and test kits and media there, all of their supplements. We do also have a good range of red starfish products there, from skimmers to reactors. You've got some media loose down there you can buy by the litre. Also the Aquamarine Aquaristic CO2 scrubber media that I quite like. And then of course you come across here, the team also bring Cove into Australia, so you get the full range of their skimmers there. Plenty to see at Aquamarine Aquaristic. All right, guys, there you have it. That was the tour of Aquamarine Aquaristic, and I think it is fair to say they have a huge range of beautiful, beautiful corals there. Probably at the moment, their favorite coral would have to be Goniopora, because they have a huge range of them there, both just in volume, but also in types of all of the high-end names, as well as some of the lower-end names of Goni frags there. And I've got to say, as you saw in the video, some of my favorites from there were the standardish ones that had just a single color on there. But I tell you what, they stood out from across the room and almost melted the lens on my camera. So do consider that when you are building out a Goni garden. Don't just go for those multicolored glitter ones that look incredible under a DSLR. Make sure you get something that grabs your attention and brings you over to the front of the tank from a long way away, like those solid colors do. Now, enough about my opinions on what you should put in your Goniopora garden. I do want to give a massive shout out to all of my channel members on screen here. These guys and girls do chip in a couple of bucks each and every month to make these videos possible. And when I am out on the road driving around local fish shop after local fish shop, their support goes a long, long way. So thank you very, very much. Now, I do also want to give a quick mention to all of our fantastic subscribers who have clicked the subscribe button in the bottom corner down there. It took them 2 seconds and cost them not a single cent, but it does support the channel a lot if you can do so. So if you're yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. I would very much appreciate it. Other than that, guys, I look forward to seeing you this time next week. I've got even more local fish shop tours to come, and a couple of little surprise ones as well, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, till next time, stay safe, keep reefing. Cheers, bye.